Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is One Piece episodes 113 and 114. Leave a like, subscribe, check out Patreon to get a week ahead on edited reactions, 2 weeks ahead on uncut timer reactions. Hope you enjoy most of all. Let's go. It's so funny that Lashes was riding a fucking duck.
Yeah.
What do you say?
At the when you first put it on, I just like it didn't register to me that I had to read, and I was just like looking at it and I'm like, why aren't I understanding this? I was like, what's going on right now? And I'm like, why do we have subtitles on if we're watching in English?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I don't know what was wrong with me.
Like this hasn't been her job for 4 years.
I don't know. I just had this feeling that I should know what they're saying.
I wish. How awesome
We
would it
aren't
be if we
even
didn't
watching
have to...
anything in English right now either.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
I thought he was gonna say, I am royalty. I'm Mr. Prince.
Oh, it just takes out all. He's solving the conflict here. He's giving them a common enemy.
Alright, Chopper. Show us something.
It's very strange.
Is this supposed to be like reverse whack-a-mole? Shit, it's like the bat from Smash Bros, but even crazier.
Okay, just stay out of his range, and he can't get you.
Again, a callback to the filler episode. I thought you were cool, man. I was expecting you to switch it up, but it turns out you're as terrible as it gets.
Oh, Karoo.
Oh, Karoo's okay? He's alright? He can just run after that?
legs.
Holy shit.
He's so good.
Is he gonna transform into Karoo?
Could you imagine?
There's no way you're as fast as Karoo.
Karoo is a supersonic duck.
I guess he is injured.
Yeah. And this like ballet like leap is maybe giving him an advantage inexplicably. Look at his foot! The perspective on his foot. Oh,
You're not seeing Karoo's suffering. If Karoo dies, I might need to take a break. I might need to take a week off for One Piece if Karoo fucking dies.
I'm almost crying just from imagining Karoo dying.
And I'd never, to be, like, honestly, I have never done that. I watched Berserk, I watched fucking everything. I've seen it all.
Karoo, making some moves.
I've never stopped a show
Can
because
Karoo
a character
fly?
has died. No, he's just
Karoo!
fast. Look at him go, he's got talons. He's gonna do it too.
Karoo,
no!
Karoo, Karoo.
His accent is so weird. Black a night! Like, what the fuck?
Karoo.
He's crying. Oh my god, man.
If they kill Karoo. Come on, Karoo.
Do it, you duck. Is he gonna, if he throws Vivi and falls to his death? Oh my god. He's gonna tell her to go and he's gonna Mufasa.
Karoo. How? I thought nothing is impossible for me.
Vivi, get, okay.
I love defying the laws of physics and nature. Just, nothing is impossible for me.
Yeah, it's like, apparently ballet is its own kind of devil fruit power.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Vivi, you gotta... Oh, Karoo.
この乱闘じゃ宝座一人の宮殿に行くの反乱軍がまだ
So
No! No! No!
how could they do that?
No!
No! I was just gonna say, I hope a stray bullet catches this freaking guy.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Karoo.
Oh my god. No! Oh my god.
No!
I'm so on edge right now.
Captain Karoo.
Oh, this is actually a crazy matchup.
Yeah, legs versus
Yeah,
legs.
shit. I didn't think of that. This is kind of exciting.
They
would be
better get help for Karoo, or I swear to God.
I would be really hyped up about this super awesome matchup if it weren't for fucking
Karoo's life
dying.
hanging in the balance.
Oh shit.
I like how everyone knows about him like that. Going back to his
Fighting
roots.
cook. Is he gonna be fighting Mr. One? Yeah.
This is a pretty sick matchup as well.
Mr. One could like phase through shit, or he could like something I forget. Yeah, they fought. They had like a little scuffle in that cafe.
Oh yeah, and it was like, oh, he
could, like-
bust through. Did he go
Yeah.
through it? No, yeah.
I forget if he could phase through it or if he could like just kind of push through it like it was nothing basically.
Pulling a Luffy over here. You asshole ducks! Why didn't you take her with you?
She can handle herself better than Vivi. I haven't seen it happen, but she can. All I've seen her. Have we seen her fight?
Yeah, she has that little like.
She has the bow. We've seen her like fuck up nobodies. Like we haven't seen her in a fight
Yeah.
with like an opponent. I don't think. I'm probably forgetting something.
Zoro.
He can't stab him in the back. What is
He
he
can
gonna
run
do?
up to them, and then they might, turn around and fight him.
Trying to think who was
Chopper.
left. Oh, forgot they were together. Where's Lashes? Lashes was Sanji, right?
They probably left Lashes behind. He was pretty beat up.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That happened this episode. What am I talking about? Yeah, it is like reverse whack-a-mole.
It's like he's the.
He comes out of
it's
the-
like the mole is
The
coming
mole
up
has
and
the bat and
attacking
he's whacking mole.
Destroying all of these ancient structures. No regard for history.
Miss Merry Christmas. With his dog? Am I crazy? I don't remember him having a dog. Or do I remember him having a dog?
I don't remember him having a dog. And it's like reverse.
Oh, reverse fetch too? Am I crazy? Maybe we did see a dog.
I have zero
We took a few
memory
day
of a
break,
dog.
which was not the move for these episodes, but
I didn't think I would, like, why would I forget a dog?
Yeah.
Chopper. Please.
What if it was the fucking Cho-Cho dog from the first arc?
Whoa.
Whoa, it's a cannon dog?
Did that dog...
It ate the cannon fruit.
And it ate the baseball fruit or something like that. The dog.
Pet gun lasso, the dog gun. He has a slight cold. Well, he's a good guy.
He's
He just
not
needs a
bad.
better owner.
Yeah. Oh.
What if they beat these guys, they retire, and then the dog, like, joins up with Alabasta to help defend the country? What? They can just detonate it? It doesn't have to hit something? It went over him. Yeah, time bomb. Yeah, I was right. See? Hey. What now? I got something totally simple that they showed us. I'm so smart.
He's like so slow, but he's reserving all of his strength and speed to be able to do that.
What does having like a Christmas theme have to do with being a mole woman?
I have no idea.
This is the kind of thing that we get at when we're trying to analyze, like, oh, did Oda think of this all at the same time, or did he kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the kind of thing that happens.
It's not like other people have, like, the day of the week doesn't have a theme, you know?
I know, but maybe it was at the beginning is kind of what I'm trying to say. I don't know. It doesn't end up mattering, is the point, but. Look at him!
Look at his tail!
A gun ate the dog fruit. What?
Excuse me.
Wait, what does that mean then for the future?
This is Chainsaw Man now.
So things can eat devil fruit. And in Usopp saying it like what that would mean, or he's saying like devil fruits don't have a will of their own. Do they have a will? Is that the will of D? The will of the
That you get a devil fruit.
The will of the devil. Will of D. Oh shit. She has the mole fruit. Or she's just a mole person. Or she was a mole, it says the human fruit.
Usopp.
Usopp, snipe this thing before it gets to you.
Yeah. I feel like you should... I feel like you should just like dodge it but run towards where it came from, right?
Oh no, they're dead.
Usopp, no! Imagine if he actually was and we were just like roasting him.
Jesus
I thought they
Christ.
always pull it with like Usopp.
Oh, we can watch this now.
Oh.
People have been screaming at us not to watch OPs and endings and stuff like that, so I just like been safe and held off with this.
But we can watch it now?
Yep. The opening is bad. Apparently the ending is not bad. Look at all the journeys they've been on. That was a really good ending.
That was really nice.
That was a really nice ending.
Nice and simple and just really beautiful. I like that.
I feel like it really, I wish we watched it a little bit sooner, but I really like this ending because it really contextualizes her point in this part of the journey, like showing up like right before when they all start riding in and everything, and she's like trying to stop them. Like all of this is probably like what's on her mind, like right at that moment.
Yeah.
You know? and how it, goes through their whole backstory and just the little snippets from their adventures and stuff like that, but not reused animation by the looks of it. Maybe a little bit here and there, but yeah, I just love it. It works really well, and Chopper looks really cute there. Hang on. Mm-hmm. That one little shot of Chopper.
Yeah. He's so determined.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What did you think of that episode?
The first half of the episode.
Holy shit.
I have almost never been more stressed out in the history of One Piece. The second half of the episode, could take it or leave it on, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. We'll probably talk more at the end of the arc once we do the whole recap review podcast thing about the whole, like, what I was talking about with the naming scheme and the whole, like, what does this have to do with Christmas type thing. I'll go into more of that once we, like, are reviewing
or
the
even
whole
just
arc.
Baroque Works as a whole.
Baroque Works as a whole and all of that, so I won't go too into that, but but yeah, the karoo thing, fucking, we've said it multiple times, but the fact that Oda doesn't seem to give a shit about animals, like, which is fine. Like, everyone freaks out like we're just fucking, like, I don't know why people get so mad. There's, like, so much, there's been a disproportionate amount of violence against animals in this show, and it clearly sort of, it signifies a sort of thought process on behalf of the author when there's this, like, pattern, and there, and it's not, I'm not even saying it's good or bad necessarily. What I'm saying about it in this context is the fact that Karoo is an animal puts
and
him
also
at risk.
He's not like Chopper, like, he's not on the crew. And, like, it's like who's not gonna get killed off? The people on the crew.
Yeah.
Okay, probably also Vivi's not gonna get killed off, but, like, everyone else is kind of fair game. And it would just absolutely destroy everyone if Karoo died. So it's, and it's like, but he keeps living, but it's like he got trampled by, like, thousands of camels. He got beat up.
He got shot.
He climbed up this cliff, almost didn't make it. He almost died, and then he got shot instantly, and then he still had to run. And it's like, he's just so good, but he's so good that you just have to be worried about him because. Yeah. He's so good that they could just get rid of him, you know? And
I'm not saying that, we're not saying that people are completely removed from the possibility of death in this show. That's not the point. The point is, with the pattern of animal harm, the fact that Karoo is an animal and doesn't talk, really, except for anyone but Chopper, and his, all his place in the story and everything is just, it ends up being a really clever way to introduce tension, like that pattern kind of exists.
You get so scared for him, because
I'm genuinely,
and he's so vulnerable, and he's just such a good little guy.
Yeah. But he's fully able to die, and it would, and yeah, I don't know. It just works. It works really well, and I think that there's, like, it's partly because of this pattern that we were talking about, that we've been talking about for, like, the whole show, and how it all kind of plays together on top of everything that's going on just in the arc in general, and it's very believable. And for me personally, in shonen, it's very difficult for me to feel, like, a lot of tension when, like, a character is about to die, or, like, when there's a lot of death flags or things are being, like, set up for a character to die. Historically, I found it very difficult to, like, really be bought into, like, be scared or be real genuinely scared for them, because usually it's, like, signposted really heavily beforehand.
Either it's, like, so obvious that they're gonna die, or they die but you just didn't really care about them that much.
Yeah.
Or a combination of both. But I feel
sometimes it does hit,
Sometimes it's not every time. It's just that I feel like very often in, like, a longer series where, like, characters have been established, if one of them is going to die, then it, like, becomes quite obvious. Like, in a series like Naruto, there's multiple moments where characters are, like, there's a bunch of death flags popping up around a certain person, and then, something happens. Or you have shows, like, we recently watched 86, or, like, Solo Leveling, or whatever, where, like, they're just, like, killing people off left and right.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't really feel tension or distress because you don't have time to care about them.
Yeah.
Before anything happens
Those
to them.
cases are different though, because the deaths in those cases are like clearly red shirt nobodies who are there to set up the plot. But in the case of actual, you know, characters that we spent a lot of time with that are set up to have like a personality and sort of a relationship with multiple people and have, you know, to be a distinct recurring character, for them to die, it's like it can work and it can be really substantial and feel really impactful. And what it's not even just about the death, it's about the tension before the death and making the stakes leading up to something like a significant event like a character death, having that feel impactful and important and have actual tension. You know, it's a really difficult thing to do, and I think that Oda did a really good job.
And I hope Karoo doesn't die, for the record. I'm not saying that, like, oh, because of all these things, I expect him to. I don't want him to, but I am genuinely afraid
I did expect him to die. I don't think he will anymore. I think that Sanji showing up, I think that this is, like, a really
turning
low point.
Yeah.
And the fact that the other ducks showed up, Sanji showed up, they said, like, take care of Karoo. Karoo's not just gonna die off screen or... something. Maybe they'll come back to him after the fight and he'll be like almost dying and then Vivi will say goodbye or something like that. But
I hope not.
I think
he'll probably be okay.
Probably not, yeah.
But it was like I was very scared for him, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to looking forward to Sanji versus Mr. 2. Like you were just saying, like when Sanji showed up, it's like that's a cool matchup.
That's a crazy matchup.
And like so far, Mr. 2 has been like really entertaining. As far as like all of the Baroque Works people go, he's been kind of like one of the top ones, I think. That's like super goofy and silly, but not really annoying, if that makes sense. Like not in the way that like Mr. 3 or whatever the bomb guy and the girl, like
they just sucked.
They just kind of sucked, and then Mr. 3 was like annoying and just kind of gross, and like it was like, okay, can we just get rid of this guy already? But like Mr. 2 is like so weird and eccentric, but in a very entertaining way. It's like you, like in a weird way, you're like kind of rooting for him at some points.
It's because he started out and we met him as a non-combatant and we kind of like bonded over with him, even if it was just a silly scene, it was still fun. And so you have kind of a connection to him more than other Baroque Works people, just because you have that one interaction. That interaction like really carries his character a lot through a lot of the shit. Because, you know, even though he did all that terrible shit and like started this whole rebellion up in force, you know, he's still a compelling character to watch, and I feel like my favorite characterized Baroque Works agent so far, personally. I think of all the characters in Baroque Works so far, like even Crocodile is really menacing.
But like the personality.
He's so far, like we so far don't know a lot about his whole backstory and everything. Maybe we'll learn a little bit as it goes along, but you know, we don't know a lot about Mr. 2's backstory either, about Mr. Bon Clay, but
you get a vibe from him. Yeah, and I think it actually works, and it's like interesting. It's a funny kind of thing because he's not a badass character too. Like he's not like Kuro, who's, you know, powerful and a challenge, but is you know, really cool looking as a guy. You know, he's really silly and stupid looking, and you know, wears ballet shoes and has like, you know, legs he shaved 4 days ago. And you know, so it's not he doesn't have like a cool design, but he's still a very interesting character and comes off as a threat as well. So. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like like with Mr. 3, it was like the combination was kind of unbalanced between like being silly and dumb, but like also being a threat. Like Mr. 3 was like so overpowered, but it was like so slow and drawn out. But like Mr. 2 is very like choppy and like erratic. And it like kind of unhinged, so it like keeps you on your toes, like because he's a ballerina. Get it? And then but I'm also looking forward to the fight with Mr. 1 and what's her name, Miss? I can't remember. I don't think it's a day of the week. I think it's like Miss something. But you know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah, with Zoro, I feel like, I mean, they're chasing after Nami right now, but I feel like if they fight, that has the potential to be cool. Yeah. Because the only thing that we've really seen from them, like, they came across, like, as just badasses. And I feel like if they like hold to that and they don't just like turn into like nothings, it could be like a fairly interesting fight with Zoro there. But I really am not. I don't really care too much about the fight with Chopper and Usopp right now.
Yeah, not really.
It just
well,
like,
no. You don't care about it when we learned about how fucking objects can eat devil fruits and the will of D possibly being the will of the devil fruit and all that being kind of together and the devil maybe having his hands.
Can we see? I missed that line.
It's also there's
referencing.
Translation.
I missed. I didn't read that. I missed that. Oh, there he is.
He's a gun that ate the Dash model of the Mut fruit. So there's different models of the dog fruit.
Ate the devil fruit.
Are you saying a gun ate a devil fruit? It's a new technique in the Grand Line. Even things are able to eat devil fruit. Ha! Don't be ridiculous. If he has originally a gun, how could he move? Devil fruit doesn't have a will of its own.
Did they respond to that or no?
She was like, who cares? You're gonna die anyway. And how does a gun eat something in the first place? Shut up. What good will it do for you to learn that? What? That doesn't make any sense. How does a gun eat a fruit? Shut up. It's not gonna matter anyway.
I wonder.
What does it matter if you learn that?
I wonder if it's like someone like you can like shove a devil fruit into something, or yeah, if the devil fruit does have a will of its own, that would be really interesting.
I think that's what they're implying.
Yeah.
There. Otherwise, like, how else would that work? Like, it would only work if.
But there are people that don't have like a D in their name that do have devil fruit powers, like Chopper. He was named like Tony D. Chopper.
But he's a doctor.
Doctor.
D-octor.
It is interesting. I wonder if it's like anyone can kind of like they can kind of get it, but maybe if you're like have a D in your name, you're like kind of marked for it, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting to think about.
Yeah.
So I do think that. Sorry. No, I'm sorry.
What about it?
I do think that part of the fight was really interesting, but there's a lot of kind of nonsense going around with it, you know?
Right.
He's a good dog, though.
Yeah, what could this mean then for the future? It's like, what could eat a devil fruit? I mean, anything can be a devil fruit, and anything can eat a devil fruit. So it basically opens up the doors to fucking anything can happen at all. Yeah. The fact that there's not only a human fruit, but that there's like different versions of a dog fruit. It's not just a dog fruit. It's multiple breeds of dog. And, you know, we've already seen many different things. It's not just elements, it's animals and a bunch of different shit. So what Oda's doing here is basically saying, I am removing the rules from my story. I've decided that no rules is better than rules. So objects can become alive if you give them a devil fruit. I'm not going to tell you where they come from, these devil fruit. I'm not going to tell, maybe they do come from somewhere, but the fact that they can be found all over the world is, and maybe it's just in the Grand Line, I actually don't even know, because the only reason Shanks had a devil fruit, and it was like their treasure that they found, and we don't know like a lot about Shanks' travels or where he's been, but like, devil fruit can be from anywhere, or can be found basically anywhere they need to be found, do anything, and anything can take them. So anything can happen, essentially, which I like. I like the confidence that requires the confidence in your story to be able to give yourself that lack of framework, you know, to have the framework enable you to do whatever you want. It opens you up to make a lot of mistakes if you don't have that consistent, like if you don't have like a consistent magic system, you know, if it's just whatever like he's basically allowed himself to do whatever the fuck he wants at all, and there's no rules for it. Like even in JoJo, it's like in order to get a stand, you either have to be born with it or be stabbed with a fucking arrow, basically. And you know, there's no other way to get them, really, other than a very, very few, like you can be given them, I guess, by Dio and like a few other fringe cases. But did Dio actually give them? I forget.
Or did he use
I
the
think
arrow
he used
on
the
them?
arrow on them, yeah. No, yeah, he used the arrow. Well, it was a later sort of retcon that he used the arrow on them. But the original idea is that he was the world, and he like gave them all because he had all of them, and then he gave them to other people. Anyway, so like even in something as JoJo, as wacky as the powers are in that, there's still rules as loose as they can be to what a stand can roughly do. You know, and some of them can fucking control time. Some of them can do almost nothing, like do really basic nothing shit, like just be vines, like
Take a picture.
Yes. So like, but even then, it's like there's still like an undercurrent of some kind of insane logic that Araki uses in JoJo for his power system. But with this development, this is like the single biggest fucking development that we've seen, and like as far as the power system, it literally opens the door to anything is possible.
It's interesting because I feel like
a building could eat a fucking devil fruit.
I feel like he had Chopper and then was like, yeah, what if animals can eat the devil fruit too? Okay, but if animals can eat it, why can't anything eat it? I was thinking, like, what if they show up on an island and somehow a devil fruit...
ate the island fruit, this person, and turned into an island.
Or, no, the island ate a devil fruit. A devil fruit just, like, rolled up onto the sand. And then it, like, decomposed. And then now the island is, like... I don't know what kind of fruit it could eat, but you know what I mean? Like,
what if an island ate the gun fruit or the fucking bomb fruit?
Yeah, an island eats a bomb fruit. You just explode on impact.
Continuously. Like all the time. It's just an explosion island. Maybe we'll get to a volcano island and that it will have eaten a fucking lava fruit.
Maybe that's why the Grand Line is so erratic. The ocean is just constantly eating. Choke. The ocean is just constantly eating the storm fruit. This is snow fruit. Just anything.
Yeah. Something like that.
I don't know. And it is a question of where they all come from, because at first it was making it seem like, you know, there's like one of every kind of devil fruit, and now it's like, now there's like, you know, there's like 50 different dog editions of the devil fruit, you know? And that they're just getting like more like varied. Like it's like, oh, we have like these animal ones, and then it's like, oh, you think, oh, that dog, and I like it as well because we have Chopper where he eats the human fruit, and then it's like, oh, this dog must have eaten the gun fruit, and I really like that because you see it and you immediately draw your own conclusions based on what was previously set up.
I wonder if it'll go into what happens when a being who's eaten a devil fruit like breeds. Like what happens? Is that where the will of D comes from? Maybe is that or maybe yeah, maybe. Cause like what if Chopper had a kid? If Chopper had a kid with another reindeer, would the kid have like human traits? Or if he had a kid with a human, would it have reindeer traits?
Yeah, like does it alter your DNA, or is it just like
DNA?
Or is it just like a parasite almost, weirdly?
I think it might be. I think we might spoilers for Attack on Titan, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that, like similar kind of shit. And maybe that's where I feel like the will of D must have something to do. I don't know why we didn't think of that, because I guess because devil fruit, they don't say it in English, do they? But the thing is also with Oda is he clearly like understands English better and other languages better than most manga authors do. That's something that I've noticed, and I may have touched on a couple times. Like it's come to the point with other words and stuff like that from different languages or English words where in a lot of anime and in Japan in general, it's just like you'll see fucking English words and it's just kind of a cool aesthetic. It's like how we see Japanese letters and it's like really, it's just cool to us. It's the same, it's the exact same, but with English stuff for them. And you see that in anime and manga as well, with some authors just like putting English words on shit. And Oda did that with the mode, which apparently just means fashions in German, with Nami and her tank top or whatever. And there's a couple things like that throughout One Piece, but it has become clear that Oda doesn't just like choose a cool word or like put it into like translate it basically, like, or I guess Google Translate wouldn't have been a thing around the time this came out, but at least not the way it is now. So he couldn't just Google Translate whatever and get a cool word out of it. But like it's in such a way where he has to have some kind of understanding of what he's doing, like with Logtown, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like things like that are not like, and I know prologue and they're Latin words, I think. They're not like just English words, but he doesn't just use English words. He clearly, you know, he's more aware of stuff like that. So making assumptions based on, you know, the will of D and devil fruit, despite the fact that devil fruit, I don't think is the word that they say. Maybe I'm fucking wrong and I'm just going crazy and they do say devil fruit in English, but I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Either way, that could be something. Because he has this consideration for other languages in a way that other authors don't, is my whole point. But there's a lot of support. I'm just laying out a lot of supporting evidence for that. But yeah. I feel like that could be it. Like, and Usopp's line there is real, and I don't know the exact translation, so, you know, the fact that he said will there kind of tips you off. He's like, will of a devil fruit. It's like, that's literally, he's saying will of D. Also, the thing is, with that, is it could be evidence towards something like that, because it's in such close proximity to when Dr. Correa said the will of D for the first time, and they've been touching on that, and in very close proximity to when fucking Miss All Sunday. Yeah, I keep getting confused with Golden Week.
Me
it's
too.
All Sunday and Golden Week, kind of similar. Anyway, because she just like last episode or the one before mentioned it as well. So the fact they're bringing this up, and the fact that Oda's writing sort of style and the way that he like drafts of things, it is kind of, it's not a flow of consciousness like he's just fucking around. But it is like he kind of has one idea and then out of that sprouts some other things that he kind of takes from. So, and you see that a really good example is like, I feel like a lot of people, this is kind of a long rant, but it's going somewhere. A lot of people, when the whole thing with Vivi turning out to be the princess and being kind of retconned into the role that she is now, a lot of people in our Patreon comments and stuff, in the whole discussion around our channel, because we kind of like, I think I said that, I was like, did he think of this like 5 minutes before as an exaggeration kind of joke that that whole part of the story in Whiskey Peak was so insane and just seemed to be like things were just kind of happening and contradicting each other, what just happened, and like it was clear to me that like, and it was kind of confirmed based on what we've heard from comments and stuff like that, that part of the story Oda has come out to say, yes, at that point I wasn't, you know, I was trying to figure shit out, etc., etc. I, you know, drew Vivi with her hair down. I was like, oh, that looks like a princess. There's like multiple things in this whole little area of the intro to the Grand Line that are sort of playing with the aesthetic of kings and kingdoms and princes and princesses and stuff like that. And like with Mr. Nine, he had the crown. Vivi didn't have the crown.
Yeah.
But Vivi turned out to be a princess, but she was with this guy who had a crown. And then Wapol like turned out to be the king of this other land. But alabasta is how, in Japanese, how you say alabaster, which means like white. And they went to a fucking snow kingdom right after meeting Vivi. So you'd think that she was tied into that. Turns out alabasta and alabaster means like, it is more maybe relating to the sands of the desert, and those being like sort of this whitish, I guess it's sand, but like, you know what I mean? You get what I'm kind of saying here. Is these aesthetics, so you can see if you think about things in this sort of logical path, and put yourself in Oda's shoes, like say none of this ever happened, and you're just like drawing at Whiskey Peak or going into the Grand Line. It's like the fact that he had these these multiple little nodes of like crowns and kings and kingdoms and all these little things, and he was thinking about like with him trying to figure out like, how am I going to fit this in with Vivi or with a princess here or there for this next big arc that I want to do. You know, Alabasta could have happened at Drum Kingdom. It's like he was just doing sort of like he playing with a revolution in a kingdom that was like overtaken by, you know, an invading force of a really powerful pirate that came in and kind of fucked everything up, and then you know, it wasn't responsible for the changes that they made. That's kind of similar to what Crocodile and Blackbeard did in these two different cases. So where was I was kind of looping back around what we were talking about, but like the whole what was I talking about before this? I was going to connect all of this back to like I'm trying
How
to
he like has all these little nodes of the story, and he like
before that, way before that. Anyway, it's just like all this stuff with how he writes is. What was I saying? Yes. It was to do with the devil fruit. Yeah. So all of these things, it's like the way that the path you can kind of, if you kind of pay attention to all these aesthetics and all these little motifs that he uses, it's like he thinks of something and he's kind of exploring this little idea, and then until he finds something else, and you kind of just go, and that's a natural way to write. That's a writing process that a lot of people do. It's not.
It's a lot of people calling him a bad writer, or that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Keep shitting on us for not giving him enough credit. What we're talking about a literal writing process that, all writers make up what they write. It's not real. So it all comes out of them a certain way. Some writers make an outline and plan out every single thing that happens. Sometimes some writers know where the story starts and they have no idea where it's going to end. Some writers know where it starts and where it ends, but everything in between is completely out of their hands, and the story just goes based on those 2 points, and they kind of fill it out in between. Mm-hmm. And some writers, literally know where each chapter is going to end until the end of their story. And some writers don't even know what the inciting incident is when they make the first character. Maybe they think of the characters first and the character's journey, and they aren't thinking about how that character fits into their world. Some writers think of the world and the building out of a kingdom or a city or wherever the setting is or the time period. They let that kind of guide what they want to explore. Or some of them think of an idea that they want to explore. There's a bunch of different approaches to writing, and us saying that Oda is kind of playing with these ideas and thinking of things as they go does not mean that he doesn't have a plan later down the line, or that things won't connect later down the line, or that we doubt that he has the ability to do that, or we think we're smarter and could write it better than him. It's just it's a part of the writing process, and every writer handles it differently. And if you want to see what I mean, there's a really easy way that you can do this. Sit down and try to write your own story. Literally just sit in front of a computer, open up a blank text document, and try to write a longer form story, multiple chapters long, with characters and et cetera, and just actually put yourself in that shoes. If you put yourself in that situation, you can really kind of see what we're talking about when we talk about writing process and about motifs. It'll be about all these kind of theming and all these things that kind of fit together. And what we mean here, it's not about quality, it's not about intelligence, it's just about the process. And all of this to say, back to what we were talking about in One Piece, with the devil fruit and stuff, the fact that Oda is he said the will of D thing, he probably had an idea of that before. That's the kind of thing, the fact that D is in Luffy's name, and a couple other things. I don't know when, I don't know if it was at the very beginning or partway through East Blue when he thought of that kind of idea. Or way before. That was actually one of the first. It could have been one of the first ideas he had about One Piece. It's one of those things. So the fact, all this to say, the fact that he's bringing it up now multiple times, in a span of a few, I guess the Karoo thing was a while ago at this point, but the fact that it's coming up more often, and then we get this thing that expands the way devil fruits work. And again, Usopp might have worded it differently in Japanese, and to us in English with the translation, it says will of devil fruit. Devil fruits can't have a will of their own. And I know a lot of people are why are you spending so much time on this? This is something we've thought of for years as One Piece fans, or
you guys are so dumb.
or we're just going off in a random tangent. But it's just I'm just trying to explain it because I know that people have been thinking about this stuff for a long time, so I'm trying to give as much credence to what I'm saying, or trying to explain as much as I can what I'm trying to say, so that I don't know, people get something from it, or they can, or you understand where I'm coming from, I guess, is kind of why I'm ranting for 20 minutes. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, well, I want to talk about kind of what you were just talking about too, of how, I think that it's definitely in regards to how he's writing the story, I feel there are a lot of things that are clearly planned out, but I also feel he's the kind of, like you were saying, there's different writing styles. And, like, some people, it's like, I have this, like, step-by-step thing, and I will refuse to deviate from that, even if I'm presented with a new idea. But I feel like the Vivi thing was a prime example of how if he knows where he's going, but if he needs to take a detour, like Luffy, just like in his life, it's like Luffy is like doing this, but if he meets someone that needs his help, then he'll go and do that. And it's similar to the writing style of, okay, I'm going in this direction. Actually, I just had this brilliant idea, and we're gonna like take a slight detour and then like continue back along where I was already, or like work those ideas in, like we were talking about with the Will of D things. It's like, maybe he didn't originally plan, like he didn't, in his very first idea of the Will of D, he didn't say, oh, I want this like weird witch doctor lady to like drop that at this exact point. But it like came about of like, oh, I have like this old lady. Now this is the perfect time to start working this into my story. And now that I'm kind of on that, or like now that I'm on the roll with like this, I'm having all these ideas about like these kingdoms and these revolutions and this and that. And now, okay, I'm going to do like a small version here, and then we're going to move along and do a bigger one. Kind of like how the first few arcs were all almost the exact same thing, but building or different every time. So it's like by the time you get to, Arlong Park, it seems like the perfected and like grander version of kind of the similar outline that we've seen a few times before. And that's not to say like those were like the failed attempts at what this was. It's just he seemed to be like enjoying a certain style of story and telling it in different ways until he like felt like he like captured maybe what he was looking for and like reached a certain point that then it's like, now we're all in this, all the characters have had these moments, they've defeated someone that's strong enough, now we're gonna like go to the grand line, you know? And it seems like the story is always building, but always taking in new inspirations at the same time to keep it fresh. Because, like, you know, you never know if from the beginning he knew that guns would be able to eat devil fruit, or if that wasn't a thing. And then it's like, I feel like now that I did Chopper, and I already knew I wanted to do that, but now that that's, like, in the world, I want to, like, expand it even more. I want to go even bigger. Yeah. And I just really want people to know that we're not trying to, like, discredit him in any way by examining like what might, and we obviously have no idea, so it's all just speculation. Yeah. But to us personally, it's just interesting to talk about. Yeah. Because when you watch so much media, anime, any type of show, it's you notice patterns, or you notice differences from one thing to another, and it's just interesting to, or like you're in this story and you're like, how would someone come up with something like this? Yeah. What made them decide to take this turn? Did they have it pre-planned, or was it like the story was going in a direction and they decided to like let it like, and then like how would you go about finding that out? Like how like that's the kind of what we're trying to get at, is like it's not just the question of, you know, was it planned? It's like, I'm sure a lot of people have asked I think a lot of people ask, oh, was this planned from the beginning, or or is this kind of made up on the spot, or a blend of both, or some kind of taking an idea from another place, putting it here? Like, a lot of people have those questions when you watch something, especially like One Piece. But the answer, a lot of people go about finding the answer by watching the show, catching up with it, maybe reading the source material, and then they go to read the author's word, and they read like the author talking about their process and the few points. That's why I think the Vivi thing has come up so much, despite a lot of our sort of examinations of the work, you know, not all of them being accurate for sure, but like some of that wasn't the only accurate thing that we've, you know, said about, you know, like about examining the writing style and like Oda, you know, thinking of things a certain way or writing things a certain way. I'm sure there have been other points like that where we said that, but Oda didn't say it, and then everybody didn't, you know, oh, you guys, you know, you guys saw that, you saw through the thing where Vivi was, you know, retconned into this position, you know. So the way that a lot of people go is they take the author's word, and then they, you know, there's some authority on, then you go to a secondary or tertiary source, or of like people who worked with Oda talking about it, or
or people who have been analyzing One Piece like chapter by chapter for like 20 years, and they're kind of an authority on it because they know it probably better than anybody. And so you take their word for it. What we're trying to do is take the show at its face value, take our knowledge from previous things, and our not like we're super knowledgeable, like we're experts or something, but like we look at things a certain way with this kind of level of examination. So if you do that enough times over the course of years, you'll notice things that most people don't notice. And it's not, again, it's not about, a lot of people go to like, oh, so you think you're so smart. It's not about intelligence. It's not about intelligence. I say a skill not with any ego at all. It's just like anything that you practice. If you practice anything, if you do the same thing multiple times, you will eventually get more acquainted with the process and how to do it better. You see that in One Piece is a perfect example of that. Like how Lindsay was just saying with the storytelling and the way that things go. It's like, you know, the fact that there is kind of a pattern that Oda is doing for each of his arcs, but adding to it and changing things here and there is not an accident. That's part of his desire as a writer and his style, and again, his process. So what he's doing is he's repeating the same idea in different ways and practicing it like you would a skill, but he's doing it with certain story elements or an arc and redoing it, and then each time it's better than last because he's learned something from the previous time. That's all we're trying to do with One Piece. Is we're trying to, you know, because of who we are and what we do, we're trying to apply that to this thing and hopefully get some things right. Or if we get it wrong, then maybe you could take something from it, even if it's fully wrong. Like, oh, that would be interesting. You know, or, oh, maybe, you know, there's this thing that happens in chapter 700, whatever, and that kind of fits with what he just said or what she just said. So maybe there was something there with what Oda was thinking or something like that. Like, we don't know the full scope of what we're saying half the time, but it's just, it's honest. What's really frustrating, sorry, go on.
No.
What's really frustrating about it is not that, like, it's not that we want people to, like, agree or fully, like, I don't even want people to agree with everything that I say. I bet it seems a lot like we're trying to, like, argue all the time with the story and with the audience when we talk about stuff like this, but it's not about that at all. It's like, I don't even expect to be right with like 90% of the things that I say. What I'm trying to do is just offer some kind of content and like offer some kind of perspective to the situation that other people maybe haven't said or don't have or whatever. I'm trying to offer myself to it, and I'm okay with being wrong on basically everything. I don't try to be like, I mean, I try to, you know, think and be as accurate as I can, but I don't expect to get everything right. I'm not treating this like a test at school. This is an exam to me. We're treating it like a game, like a fun activity to do. We're treating it like, and we're learning as well. And that's the bigger thing is we're trying to learn from it. So it's not about being right. It's just about offering something to the discussion that other people might not have offered.
And talking about things in this way lets you appreciate them even more when they're really good. I think a lot of people, when we talk like this, people think that we're tearing it apart or we're like ruining the immersion, or like how could we possibly be invested in this story if we're just ripping it to shreds every episode. And people get mad at us at that for a lot, not just on One Piece, but on many shows that we've talked about, usually when we're talking about them in a bad way. But sometimes even if we're praising it, but we're getting into the story aspects, people take that shift as like, now you're criticizing it. Yeah. This is because I think to a lot of people when they're watching it, they're not thinking about, unless they're thinking about the author as like a god and like everything that this man touches with his pen is like written into the Bible of my life. Like there's some people like that, but I think a lot of people, they just watch things to enjoy them and not think critically about them and not think, go on a deep dive of like, the author must have been thinking about this or that. It's like, to them, they just love the characters and they love the story, and I love the characters and I love the story, but I can also appreciate the skill that went into making it. But I also, in order to appreciate the skill, you have to be able to know what makes it good. And be, for me at least, like, be kind of honest with yourself if it's bad, and you can even enjoy it if it's like, not on the same level as some other things. But I think that it's really helped us. Like, recently we rewatched the first season, not recently, really at this point, but we rewatched the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, because the first time that we watched that at the start of our channel, we were kind of like, I mean, this is fine, it's kind of hype, but it's nothing really special. But as time has gone on and we've watched more things and analyzed the way that stories are written and characters are made and, you know, power systems are built or worlds are laid out, then when we went and rewatched it with a more critical eye, instead of, you know, finding more things wrong with it, we found a lot more things that we liked about it that we didn't notice the first time when we weren't really being that analytical about it. Yeah. So I think that, like, that says a lot about, you know, how in a story that is well crafted and well written, analyzing it is only going to make it better.
Unless it's genuinely bad. But
that's
then
why
you can avoid stuff like that. But
in,
One Piece isn't. That's not the case in One Piece.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said in a story that is, like, well written and well crafted, analyzing the writing is only going to make it better. Yeah. In my opinion, most of the time. Yeah.
And it's not even for me with One Piece specifically, it's not even always a question of quality, like quality, like I would think. Like it doesn't fit on as cleanly onto a standard, because it's with any show that has the kind of writing style that we've sort of speculated and through our examinations suspect that Oda is likely taking, based on, you know, the 100+ episodes that we've seen of this show so far. It's not always so cut and dry of like, this is high quality, this is poor quality. It's like the real quality and the real intrigue doesn't come from just what is happening. It's like when you look at things on like a slightly deeper level and start to and try to think about the author as a person making decisions with their work, you get a lot more respect for it, I think, rather than just like loving every second of it. And you know, because I don't know. It's like, what am I trying to say? How do I put this? Like, I don't. Whenever there's something that doesn't hit so hard with me emotionally, I don't immediately, with this show specifically, I don't immediately think that is bad writing. That is bad because Oda wasn't thinking it through and he just made a dumb mistake, and I wish that wasn't in the show. I wish it wasn't included. That's never what I don't think I've ever said that, except for like one thing, which with Pearl. Yeah. I think Pearl is the only thing where, and there's a couple things where like it's not my favorite thing, but I can see like the develop. I can see a development and like a care put in through most things in the show. Pretty much everything. There's like a couple things that are more functional, but like through most things, it's like even if it doesn't hit me on an emotional level, or I'm not getting hyped up from something that's supposed to be cool, it's like I can see the spirit behind it, and that's what really separates a good story from a bad story. So then it can be a good story with like some less than qualitative decisions on a micro level, like point by point, or like this, you know, like, but that doesn't make the show bad, and it doesn't even make what happened necessarily bad, because beneath that, like, what I would personally consider a questionable decision, like in a scene or a line that somebody says, or a move that somebody does in a fight that like doesn't really make sense with what had happened before, or doesn't really have impact because it wasn't set up as well as other things that had happened. It's like, even when stuff like that can happen in the story, it's like because there's this assumption that the author is taking with the story, and you know, like there's just there is, you can really feel that spirit, and the fact that comes through even in those moments. It then becomes not about like, oh, this was good, this was bad. It's like there are higher levels to reach, but you know, it's not always about this is a good thing and this is a bad thing for me. That's kind of how I've been approaching the show, and it's been paying off, I think. I think that you know, it definitely has a different vibe to it than a lot of other things. I agree. Anyway, leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Quick reminder, I will be shaving my head at 100,000 subscribers on our main channel. So go to our main channel and subscribe, but don't do it if you know, don't like anything but One Piece. But if you want to check something out and you want to support us and you want me to shave my head, go subscribe to the main channel. It really does look like Gondor when you put it like that. I can't wait to see Mr. 2 versus Sanji. It's gonna be so crazy. I wonder, I've seen that there's like I don't know if it's movies or OVAs or flashbacks in the future of like reanimating these old fights. I saw like a little tiny snippet. I didn't watch the full thing of Sanji versus Karobi, and it looked fucking crazy. And I wonder if this fight, maybe it'll be anticlimactic just because he's kind of a dumb character. But it would be.
I think it could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder if the animation will just pop off here. You know, you never know. Oh shit. Does he seem upset by that?
You fall in a hole. Oh.
Oh, did he eat
Chopper.
the... Oh, no, he's just really fast.
So many animals in this fight.
There's 2. There's technically 1.5.
No.
Oh.
Just her.
So 2.
And the dog. The gun dog.
He's only half an animal because he's a gun, technically, and she's a person. I guess a person's an animal.
They're all in animal forms right now.
Usopp, get on Chopper's back, he'll run around, and then you snipe them.
Yeah.
Easy. I guess Usopp also just doesn't trust himself to do that. Like, that's why he's not really thinking of it, I think. Oh, shit.
So cute and little.
I still can't get over that it's Pikachu's voice actor. I know I've probably heard her in other things, but because Pikachu's voice is just like so cute, it's unmatched. So to hear that person like around the time where they would have recorded all those iconic old episodes. I wouldn't get too comfortable down there. It's sand after all. How do you not know you're a mole? Are his goggles like night vision too?
Oh.
What the hell?
Where did you get that?
S plus, or is that S plus, or what is that?
No, it's actually whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Oh, kill shot. Oh my! I thought he was gonna double tap him.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Saint? Oh no, 5 ton. Oh, I'm so dumb.
What?
Yeah, where indeed? Where the fuck is it? Not a real like?
There's no way.
It's got to be inflatable.
But it did knock that guy out.
It's not nearly as heavy as it looks. He did some kind of trick to knock the guy out. Thank you, baby.
Classic Usopp move.
Give the hammer to Chopper and then Sniper.
Where?
You've been hanging out with fucking Ace too much. You think you're all fucking badass.
Chopper believing him.
I love their like. I love that as a joke.
What happened to this guy?
I think he's just slow, and he didn't hit him that hard.
Yeah.
Chopper's the best wingman for Usopp because he goes with everything.
Yeah.
Paper mache? How did you make that so fast? Whoa. I mean, that's really impressive.
Yeah. Too bad Zoro wasn't here because he could actually hit with his like giant weighted thing.
Yeah. Now you put her on edge, so that's good at least. Get on those like structures back there. I guess they're probably really far away, but they're probably further away than they look. But if you could get just like on a rock or on something, and Chopper can distract
Or just
them.
like shoot that guy who moves so slowly.
Yeah, like Usopp, you have a skill, man. You just need to believe in yourself. Now she's using the same trick. Ouch.
Oh, Chopper.
All right. I knew he was gonna do it.
Look at how cute he is.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, his like...
Rumble, what was it?
Rumble ball.
Rumble ball.
I forgot about this.
What the hell did he do? Brain point scope? What?
It was when he brought up that weird like
Right.
scope thing.
It's like his brain is he's went overcharged like Killua Godspeed. Like
Yeah,
all
I
of his
can't
nerves
remember-
are firing at like a super crazy speed. His whole body's overcharged. It's so fucked up because like nobody actually like they're really fighting for nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's kind of the yeah.
I know it's the whole point, but it's just when you when you stop to think about it, it's just like so fucked up as Vivi to like see all that happening, and it's literally like there's literally no point to it. They've just been fully manipulated, and it's just tragic as shit. Because everybody thinks that they're like making a crazy stand and like saving the world.
Yeah. I wish that one of those ducks could have helped Karoo and the other one could have carried her really fast through the city.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
You're a good boy.
What is this boss stuff? I
I
wonder.
don't know.
Is that like the onomatopoeia for, or the sound like a mole makes or something in Japanese?
She's not gonna do it. Or is it gonna work? No.
It's gonna go right through that wall. Yeah. Wow, okay,
Oh,
I was completely underestimating her ability to destroy
too.
structures. Or overestimating the structural integrity of these 1,000-year-old structures.
Damn. Come on, Chopper.
Jesus Christ. All right, it's time to get it together there, big man.
No. Kick her in the face.
What is that?
She's grabbing his foot.
Oh, that's her claws. I was like, what is that weird, like, rock thing that he's standing on? Are we gonna see a Scooby-Doo hole in the rock? Yes! Yes!
Oh. Oh, Chopper, he's just so cute. What, the dog?
Yeah.
He's just gonna punch the dog in the face?
Pet the dog. Oh no!
Oh. Better not be in there.
Just loading the holes up with fucking bombs.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Miss Merry Christmas.
Oh boy.
Hope that doesn't impact the city.
Just completely damages the structural integrity of this entire desert.
It looks like it would.
This war is really heating up. It's really... Who brought bombs into it?
Sigma Chopper.
Yeah. Looking so cool.
He always looks coolest when he's in his, like, buff reindeer form. Or not like the full human reindeer,
just
but like...
the normal reindeer.
Just the normal reindeer.
Tell me it worked.
That doesn't look good.
Looks so creepy.
That looks terrifying. Usopp, hold yourself together!
Usopp, shoot them while they can't see and they're in the smoke.
This is where Chopper is starting to doubt the conversation with Zoro that happened in that filler.
Get her in the face with a rotten egg.
Good episode. Good episode. I just wish Usopp would get his shit together. I know that's his whole point, is that he constantly, like...
He came up with this brilliant idea of this hammer. But what would have been really cool is if he used that as a distraction and then, like, you know, got them with an exploding slingshot thing. Yeah. Also, am I crazy? Did he get his old goggles back? What happened to his, like, fancy ones?
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
did something happen to them?
I think there's something with that being a filler of him getting the goggles then. I don't know what the deal is.
I thought he's had them since then.
I think I don't know what the deal is. Maybe he only pulls them out for special occasions. That could be one thing. And since he's in the desert, he's not like in a crazy situation. He doesn't need to see far. He protects them because they're kind of like a gadget that he has. I think I heard at one point in Patreon comments that somebody that him getting buying the goggles there was a filler or added portion. I'm not 100% sure, and I might be imagining it, but I think I remember somebody saying that. And he does get the goggles at a later point, but it was adding this time where he got them then. Oh. But he,
doesn't actually have
in these big
it's so
story
strange
mode.
because I swear that I've seen him wearing them, but now
you have seen him wearing them, but I wonder. I think they might just be a gadget to help him
Maybe
in
these
certain
are better
situations.
for the desert because they're like touching his face, where the other ones are like in front, kind of.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I would expect him to wear them because they're like his special goggles, but anyway. Yeah. Other than that, not much crazy stuff going on. I really think the winning strategy would be like if Chopper can dodge most of the attacks, and we've seen him tow in his reindeer form all of them in a sleigh, on that tightrope.
Yeah.
So he has the ability to tow a lot of weight. So it wouldn't hinder his speed very much to have just Usopp on his back. Usopp is extremely accurate, but he needs to trust himself. And like that's why I think he hasn't pulled out. I mean, it's partly just because of the Oda's the way Oda writes these fights where it's just kind of crazy stuff happening one after another.
Mm-hmm.
And he just does things the way that he wants, so it's not so focused on like Usopp pulling out his answer to the situation exactly or whatever. He just kind of he's very playful with these types of fights with these crazy wacky characters. So that's the main reason I think that the fight is like kind of dragging on a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think the sort of, if you wanted to make a character explanation of it, it's just that like with I guess it was also a filler sort of scene with Daddy the parent. Mm-hmm. when there was that whole thing with his with him hitting that thing far away or like having this crazy accuracy. Usopp's thing is obviously that he's not super confident, so he's not pulling out the slingshot, or he doesn't think to do it, or he doesn't trust himself to do it, and he's not confident enough to do it, and he doesn't have that like kind of power up to that self-preservation.
Well, also like now he just got told that Luffy is dead. Obviously he doesn't want to believe that, and obviously we know that it's not true. But so I feel like this is gonna be the catalyst to taking their fight to the next level. Now they're like really mad. You know?
Well, yeah, but Miss Merry Christmas thinks it is true because by everyone's account, Luffy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
is dead. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's just it's Miss Merry Christmas obviously isn't lying to Usopp, like trying to wind him up. She really thinks that he's dead. Everybody thinks that he's really dead. So yeah. Anyway, not much else to say really about this episode. I think we should just move on. Leave a like, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.